There is a question that has lived at the center of every healing tradition humanity has ever produced, from the riverbanks of ancient Mesopotamia to the mountain springs of the Essene communities in the Judean desert. How does a human body restore itself completely, not through external intervention, not through the management of symptoms, but through a direct activation of the intelligence already present within every cell, every breath, every drop of water that moves through your living system? Jesus answered this question with a precision that his closest initiates preserved in the most careful silence for 1600 years. And his answer was a practice. A sequence of 4 specific rituals combining water and breath that any human being can learn, that produce verifiable results in the body within days of consistent application, and that require nothing beyond what every person already carries within them. You breathe approximately 20,000 times each day. Your body is composed of roughly 60% water. Jesus understood something about the relationship between these two realities that modern science is only beginning to approach, and that the Gnostic baptismal communities of the 1st and 2nd centuries preserved with extraordinary fidelity until the institution that called itself Christianity chose doctrine over direct experience and erased these practices from every text it could reach. How old are you, and from which country are you watching this? Tell me in the comments. Have you ever stood under running water or submerged your hands in a river and felt something beyond the physical sensation of wetness? A kind of transmission, a clearing, a sense that the water was doing something that had nothing to do with chemistry? Write that experience below. Give this video a like so that more people discover these rituals that were practiced openly in the first Christian communities and preserved in secret for centuries after. Subscribe to this channel to receive knowledge that the official historical record has kept at the margins. Share this video with someone you sense is ready to move from belief about healing into the direct experience of their own body's luminous capacity. In the Aramaic that Jesus spoke, the word for water was Maya, and Maya carried a freight of meaning that the simple English word water entirely fails to convey. In the Mandaean tradition, which preserves some of the oldest and most unaltered forms of the baptismal practices that surrounded Jesus and his earliest community, Maya is simultaneously the physical substance that flows in rivers, the cosmic medium through which divine consciousness moves into material form, and the living carrier of what they called the mana, the divine light substance that animates all living beings. The Mandaeans, whose communities have practiced an unbroken line of water ritual from the 1st century to the present day, use the word Masbuta to describe their central baptismal rite. Masbuta translates most precisely as immersion in living water, and living water, Maya Hayyi in Aramaic, means specifically water that moves, water that flows, water connected to a source. The Mandaean Ginza Aba, the great treasury of their sacred texts, describes this living water as the medium through which the light world touches the material world. Every time moving water contacts a human body with conscious intention, the text teaches, a transmission occurs that transcends the physical. This is what Jesus was practicing and teaching. This is what the Gnostic baptismal communities preserved. And this is what the 4 rituals you are about to learn activate in your own body. The reason these practices moved from the public teaching of the earliest Jesus communities into the protected silence of the Gnostic initiatic lineages has everything to do with what they produce in the person who learns them. A human being who knows how to use water and breath together to access their own healing capacity directly requires nothing from an institution to maintain their connection to the divine. The Masbuta, as Jesus taught it to his inner circle, was a complete technology of bodily and energetic restoration that any person could perform alone, beside any moving water, at any time. when the Council of Constantinople in 553 ordered the destruction of texts containing practical instructions rather than doctrinal propositions, the water and breath rituals of the Gnostic communities were among the primary targets. What survived did so because the Mandaean communities of the Tigris and Euphrates Valley, the Nicene Gnostics of Syria, and scattered initiatic communities across Egypt maintained these practices in living transmission, teacher to student, hand to hand, breath to breath, across the centuries of official suppression. The Gospel of John, the most Gnostic of the four canonical Gospels, preserves a teaching of Jesus that becomes entirely transparent when read from within the practice rather than from within the theological interpretation that grew around it. Jesus says to Nicodemus, "Unless a person is born of water and spirit, they are unable to enter the kingdom of God." Theology turned this into a sacramental doctrine about baptism administered by priests. But the Gnostic communities who heard this teaching understood it as a precise technical instruction. Born of water and spirit means the simultaneous activation of Maya, living water, and Pneuma, conscious breath, in a unified practice that produces a genuine transformation of the body's energetic field. The kingdom of God, in the Gnostic reading, is the state of consciousness that becomes available when this transformation occurs. It is accessible in the living body now through practice. Before you learn the four rituals, understand this single principle that underlies all of them. Water carries intention. Breath carries consciousness. When you combine them with precise knowledge of how they interact in the human subtle body, you activate a self-restoring intelligence in your system that the Gnostic texts describe as the mana awakening, the divine light particle within you recognizing and responding to the divine light that flows through living water and living breath. The first ritual is called the Masbuta of the hands, and it corresponds to what the Apocrypha of John identifies as the first seal of purification, the clearing of the body's outermost energetic field, the layer that interfaces with the physical world and accumulates the density of every interaction, every stress, every contraction that daily living produces. Find a source of moving water. This can be a flowing tap, a river, a stream, a fountain, any water that flows rather than stands still. Stand or sit so that both your hands are submerged or held under the flowing water up to the wrists. Now begin the breath. Inhale slowly through the nose for a count of 6 heartbeats. As you inhale, hold the intention clearly in your awareness. I am receiving the mana, the living light that this water carries. Feel the water on your hands as a carrier of something more than temperature and wetness. Retain the breath for a count of 3 heartbeats. In this retention, your awareness rests entirely on the point of contact between your hands and the water. Exhale completely through the mouth for a count of 6 heartbeats. As you exhale, release into the water everything that has accumulated in your field since your last practice. The water receives it and carries it away. This is the physical enactment of what the Mandaean texts describe as the water's capacity to dissolve and absorb density that the subtle body has collected. Complete 7 full cycles of this breath while your hands remain in the flowing water. When you lift your hands, hold them palm upward for 3 additional natural breaths before drying them. The Masbuta of the hands requires between 4 and 6 minutes of total practice. Practitioners consistently report a sensation of lightness in the hands and forearms, a shift in the quality of perception that several describe as a lifting of a film from the visual field, and an immediate reduction in the mental noise that accumulates through the day. These are the signs that the first seal is responding. The second ritual is called the Masbuta of the face and crown, and it corresponds to the activation of what the Gnostic texts call the gateway of light, the upper region of the physical body through which, according to the trimorphic protenoia found at Nag Hammadi, the voice of the divine descends into the human form. For this ritual, you require a bowl of water placed at a comfortable height, or access to flowing water from above, such as a gentle faucet. Cup both hands and bring living water to your face 7 times. Before each application of water to the face, you pause with the water in your cupped palms and breathe 1 complete cycle. Inhale for 4 heartbeats, drawing the breath through the water in your hands so that the air and the water are in close proximity. Retain for 4 heartbeats, exhale for 8 heartbeats. On the exhalation, your breath passes over the water in your palms before you raise it to your face. This breathing over water before each application is the technical element that distinguishes the Masbuta of the face from a simple act of washing. You are charging the water with conscious breath before it contacts the skin. After the 7th application, place both palms gently over the crown of the head and hold them there for the duration of 3 slow, natural breaths. The Mandaean Ginza Abba describes the crown as the point where the kusta, their term for the divine light thread that connects every human being to the light world, enters the physical body. This final hand placement at the crown seals the activation produced by the 7 applications of charged water. The second ritual takes between 8 and 10 minutes. The consistent reports from practitioners include a quality of mental clarity described as crystalline, a sensation of expansion at the top of the skull, and in many cases a spontaneous shift in emotional state from contracted to open. The body is responding to the activation of its uppermost gateway. The third ritual is the most physically immersive and corresponds to what the Mandaean texts call the full Masbuta, the complete renewal of the subtle body through total contact with living water. Jesus practiced this ritual in the Jordan River and its tributaries, and the accounts of his baptism by John in all 4 Gospels carry traces of what was, in its original context, a full initiatic transmission between 2 masters of the water and breath practice. For this ritual, you require a bath, a pool, or any body of water where you can submerge to the shoulders. The water temperature is relevant. The Mandaean texts specify that the water should carry the quality they call fresh, not hot, not ice cold, but at the temperature of a cool spring. Modern practitioners find that water between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius produces the most consistent results. Enter the water and allow yourself to stand or sit for 3 complete natural breath cycles before beginning the practice. This is the acclimatization phase. You're allowing your nervous system to register the full contact of the water with your body. Now begin the Masbuta breath sequence for full immersion. Inhale through the nose for 5 heartbeats, while you hold both arms extended outward at the surface of the water, palms facing upward, in the posture of reception. Retain for 7 heartbeats. During the retention, slowly lower yourself until the water reaches your chin, so that only your face is above the surface and your entire body is in full contact with the living water. Exhale through the mouth for 8 heartbeats as you rise back to your original position. This constitutes 1 cycle. Complete 5 full cycles. On the 5th and final exhalation, lower your face to the surface of the water so that your lips touch it, and exhale your final breath into the water itself. This act of breathing into the water is the precise technical element that the Gnostic baptismal communities understood as the meeting point of Maya and Pneuma, the moment where water and breath become one medium. The Apocrypha of John describes this moment as the kindling. When you rise from the full Masbuta, remain in the water in stillness for 5 additional minutes of natural breathing. Observers of this practice consistently report that this 5-minute integration period is where the most significant shifts occur. A warmth that spreads from the core outward that has nothing to do with water temperature, a profound quieting of the mental field, and in many practitioners, a spontaneous release of held emotion that has been stored in the body's tissue for extended periods. The third ritual takes between 20 and 25 minutes. The fourth and most advanced ritual is called the Masbuta of the voice. and it is the one that the Gnostic texts describe as the direct activation of the body's spontaneous healing capacity. In the Gospel of Thomas, Logion 108, Jesus says, "Whoever drinks from my mouth will become like me. I will become that person, and the hidden things will be revealed to that person." The Nicene Gnostics, whose practices were documented by the early church father Hippolytus, specifically because he wanted to discredit them, interpreted this logion as a reference to the practice of sacred sound, produced simultaneously with conscious breath and living water, the voice used as the third element in the water and breath system. For this ritual, you sit comfortably before a bowl of living water. The bowl should be large enough that you can lower your face close to its surface. Begin with 3 natural breaths, then inhale deeply through the nose for 6 heartbeats, retain for 4 heartbeats. As you exhale, you produce a sustained single tone. The Mandaean communities use the sound MA on the exhalation, the first syllable of Maya, water. You produce this sound at a volume and pitch that causes a visible vibration on the surface of the water in the bowl before you. You can observe this vibration as small ripples spreading from the center. This visible rippling of the water is the physical confirmation that your voice, your breath externalized as sound, is in direct contact with and interaction with the living water. Complete 9 cycles of this voiced exhalation. On the 9th cycle, place both palms flat on the surface of the water as you produce the final tone, so that your hands feel the vibration your voice is creating in the water simultaneously. This moment of triple contact, water, breath, and voice, is what the Gnostic texts describe as the completion of the Masbuta. After the 9th cycle, rest your palms on the surface of the still water and allow 7 natural breaths to pass in complete silence. The Nicene texts that Hippolytus documented describe the healing activation produced by the Masbuta of the voice as a warming of the hands that radiates up through the arms into the center of the chest, followed by a sense of expansion in the rib cage and a spontaneous deepening of the breath. These are the signs that the mana has been activated, that the divine light particle within the practitioner has been brought into resonance with the divine light that living water carries. The signs that the 4 Masbuta rituals are producing their effect appear with a consistency that the Mandaean texts describe with remarkable precision and that any practitioner can verify through direct experience. Within the first 3 days of practicing the Masbuta of the hands daily, the quality of sleep deepens in a way the body registers as distinctly different from ordinary rest. Dreams become more vivid and more accessible to memory upon waking. This occurs because the first ritual clears the outermost layer of the subtle body before sleep, allowing the deeper levels of the energetic system to process and integrate without the accumulated density that uncleaned daily contact leaves in the field. Within the first complete week of daily practice, including the Masbuta of the face and crown, a quality of sensory clarity begins to establish itself as the baseline condition of your perception. Colors appear with a slightly increased vividness. Sounds carry more distinct qualities. The skin becomes measurably more sensitive to temperature and texture. These are physical confirmations that the gateway of light at the crown is functioning at an elevated capacity, and that this increased capacity is expressing itself through all 5 physical senses. In the first 2 weeks, when the practitioner adds the full immersion Masbuta to the daily sequence, the relational field around them begins to shift in ways that become perceptible to others before the practitioner themselves fully registers the change. People in their environment report finding them easier to be around. Conversations of greater depth arrive naturally, a quality that can only be described as warmth, not emotional warmth alone, but something more physical, more present, becomes noticeable in their proximity. After the first month of consistent practice of all 4 Masbuta rituals in sequence, the body's relationship to its own healing processes has shifted fundamentally. Minor physical complaints that were present before the practice began tend to resolve in ways that occur faster than the person's previous experience of recovery. Practitioners report a quality of bodily confidence, an increased sense that the body knows what it is doing and can be trusted to do it, that replaces the anxious vigilance that most modern human beings carry about their physical health. This is the awakening of the spontaneous healing capacity that Jesus taught and that the Gnostic baptismal communities preserved across 16 centuries. This is what Jesus understood with a clarity that no subsequent religious institution managed to carry forward intact. The human body is a system designed to restore itself completely. It carries within every cell the same intelligence that organizes the cosmos, the same mana that flows through living water, the same pneuma that moves through conscious breath. The separation between the body's healing capacity and the divine intelligence that the religious imagination places somewhere beyond the physical world is the precise illusion that these four rituals dissolve through direct experience rather than through belief. When you stand with your hands in moving water and breathe with conscious intention, you are not performing a symbolic act about healing. You are enacting the literal mechanism through which the mana in your subtle body recognizes the mana in the living water and responds by increasing its own luminosity and restoring its own coherence. Every practitioner who has worked with these rituals consistently for 30 days or more reports the same fundamental shift. They stop experiencing their body as something that breaks down and requires management, and begin experiencing it as something that knows how to be alive and moves naturally toward wholeness when given the conditions it was designed to function within. Those conditions are precisely what the four Masbuta rituals provide. Water that moves, breath that carries intention, sound that creates the bridge between the two, and the daily practice of bringing all three together in the way Jesus taught his closest initiates and the Gnostic baptismal communities preserved through every century that the institution of official Christianity spent trying to eliminate the knowledge that the divine is directly accessible in your body now, through practice, without intermediary of any kind. If this teaching has reached something in you that already knew it, if the maya of these words has touched the mana within you, and something has shifted in how you relate to your own body and its capacity for healing, there are three things I invite you to do right now. Write in the comments, "I activate the Masbuta," to signal your intention to begin this practice tonight. Give this video a like so that this teaching reaches more people who are ready to move beyond belief and into direct experience. Share this video with someone you sense is standing at the threshold of their own discovery that healing is something the body does and has always known how to do when given the conditions it was made for. The four rituals are in your hands. The living water is available to you. The breath is already moving in you. The only distance that remains is the one between reading and doing. Begin with the first ritual tonight. 4 minutes. Flowing water, 7 breath cycles, and let the mana begin its work.